Linear patterns. Your learning target today is I can identify patterns by using all four operations and find what is missing. And you'll know you're successful when you can find the missing number or missing numbers and find the pattern based on what is happening. All right, welcome back to day 2 of linear patterns. So remember, our big job is to figure out what the pattern is. And by doing that, I'm just going to look at the information I have right in front of me. And I'm going to figure out what's happening in the pattern so far. And then I can figure out what's missing. So let's look at 4 and then 8. What happened, do you think, when it went from 4 to 8? Well, right now, it looks like it went up by 4. So I'm just going to maybe guess that, okay, maybe this is a +4 pattern. Well, let's see if that works. Let's look at 8. 8 plus 4. What is 8 plus 4? Is it 16? No way. I know that 8 plus 8 is 16, so that can't be it. 8 plus 4 is 12. So, it's not a +4 pattern this time. I'll erase that. Oh my. Well, what else could be happening? If I think of a different operation that I know that, of course, we know that of all the 4 operations and we tried adding, I know it's not subtracting because the number goes up, not down. And same with division. That wouldn't work. But what about multiplication? Let's see if that would work. 4 times something is 8. Yeah, 4 times 2 is 8. Is 8 times 2 16? Yes, it is. So, our pattern is times 2 or multiply by 2 this time. We had to be careful because we knew that, yes, 4 plus 4 is 8. But 8 plus 4 is not 16. It's actually 8 plus 8 is 16. So that pattern does not stay consistent. Therefore, it does not work. So 4 times 2 is 8. 8 times 2 is 16. What's 16 times 2? Well, if I don't know how to do that yet, I can just know that I have to add 16 twice. So what's 16 plus 16? 6 plus 6 is 12, and then 10 plus 10 is 20. So 20 plus 12 is 32. So 32 is our missing number in our multiply by 2 or times 2 pattern. All right, for our next one, we are going to find the pattern or the rule for this next linear pattern. So, by looking at this, I'm noticing that my numbers are going down. And so that right away, when I look at my 4 operations of adding, multiplication, subtraction, or division, I know that I can eliminate adding and multiplication because my number is decreasing instead of increasing. That means my number is getting smaller instead of getting bigger. So I have 2 choices. I could be subtracting or I could be dividing. And when I look at my pattern, let's see if it makes sense if we were subtracting. 27, and then we don't know what goes in this blank, but then it turns into a 3. So from 27 to 3, a lot happens. Let's look at 3 when it turns into a 1. It looks like if it was subtraction, that's -2. Would it make sense to say 27 minus 2, which would be 25, and then 25 minus 2? Does that equal 3? No, it doesn't. That actually equals 23, so that wouldn't work out with the pattern. So guess what? We can eliminate subtraction as our choice, and I know that we must be dividing. So we have 27 divided by something. Okay, we don't know what though yet, right? Oh, and we don't need to know what would go after 1 because that's not a choice. Okay, but 3 divided by what equals 1? What would go there? What would A equal? Right now I want you to pause the video and see if your class, if you are in person, if you and your teacher can figure that out. And if you are at home, you and someone else can try to figure out what would A equal. 3 divided by what equals 1? So pause the video and discuss. All right, you should have discussed that 3 divided by 3 is actually 1. So this is a divided by 3 pattern. So what is 27 divided by 3? Remember, if I am stuck on the division problem, then I could always think 3 times what equals 27? 3 times 9 is 27. So that means 27 divided by 3 is 9. So 9 is our missing number. So our pattern should go 27, 9, 3, 1. Because you know that 9 divided by 3 is 3, so that does work. So that is our pattern divided by 3. All right, this is the last problem for today. So I want you to figure out this pattern, and of course I want you to find out what the missing number is. So step 1, please pause the video and try this out on your own, finding the pattern and then the missing number. And then the next step would be to resume the video when you're ready to find out what the answer was. Okay, so our answer for our pattern was that this was a times 5 pattern because 10 times 5 is 50. And then you had to figure out what 50 times 5 was, and that's what went in this blank. And then whatever that number is times 5 equals 1,250. So 50 times 5, I could have done this with repeated addition, as we know. 50 plus 50 plus 50 plus 50 plus 50. Or I could have done 50 times 5. And we have not learned it this way yet, but eventually in 4th grade you will learn how to multiply bigger numbers and in a lot faster way with the algorithm. So I'll show you with the faster way first. 0 times 5 is 0. And then we would cross multiply, and what we would do is do 5 times 5, which is 25. So that's 250. Is that right? Well, 50 plus 50 is 100. Another 50 plus 50 is another 100, so that's 200 plus 50. So yes, it is 250. That's what should have gone in that blank. Great job. So remember, your learning target today is I can identify patterns by using all 4 operations and find what is missing. And you'll know you're successful when you can find the missing number or numbers and find the pattern based on what is happening.